Hi, this is Carol Wisely with Radio Free Decipher, and I'm here today with one of our newest members of staff in the marketing department, although someone long known to many of you in the Star Trek community. So I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome Evan Lorenz, otherwise known as Mott the Barber.
Good morning, Carol.
And how long have you been here, Evan?
This would be the end of my second week. I joined on just in time to head out to Origins and be part of many of the events we had there.
And how long have you been associated with the Star Trek customizable card game?
Well, I've been playing it from the very beginning. I picked up my first limited packs when the game first premiered back in 1994.
Wow, I didn't realize that you were one of the absolute beginning guys.
I am one of the true old-timers. In the online community, I've been active for about 2 years now.
And what brought you to the online community? When did you make that sort of jump?
Well, there was a period when the website began to evolve and grow, and we picked up the BBS and a lot of other features that started to draw me in. And I just posted one day, and Mott the Barber kind of took on a life of his own.
How did you get that name? I mean, where did the handle come from? I mean, what made you choose that character?
Well, I was posting from a friend's computer, and I had my binder with me, and I had typed up my entire post and didn't have a handle ready to put on there. So I kind of went to the binder, and my friends and I were flipping through, trying to figure out what card would be best for this. And the one that they picked was Mott the Barber. And I remember thinking at the time, "Are you really sure about this?" And they said, "Oh, I think it's perfect." And it turned out that they were right.
Well, you've been Mott ever since. In fact, your email address here is mott@decipher.com, and
yes,
anybody who wants to welcome Evan or Mott to the Decipher community can email him there. And Evan, describe the role you're going to take here at Decipher.
I am going to be taking over the rules questions related to the Trek CCG. If you have any questions about gameplay, I would be the one to contact with those. I will be writing the current rulings documents and updating the glossary and documents like that on the website, and basically out there making sure that there's plenty of good Star Trek CCG content available to our players.
Great, and also judging and officiating at many of the big events this year, I would imagine.
Yes, I got started at Origins, and I expect to be at as many of the summer cons as possible.
Well, I'm really pleased to have you here, and I know that Kathy, or Major Racalish is known, has done a great job doing that, and she's still going to be associated with Decipher, working probably a little more behind the scenes on some PD-related tasks.
Yes.
But I know that you work really closely with Kathy.
Yes, and she certainly set a very high bar to live up to, so...
well, I'm sure you'll get there, don't worry. We're very glad to have you here. I've also got Marcus here, also known as the Emissary. And Marcus, how was Origins for you?
Origins was great. I think it was a real success for all of us, and I think Evan coming on at that time really helped out a lot. The Star Trek Open was fantastic. How many people did we exactly have there?
We had 62 players at the Trek Open.
That's really nice, and I heard lots of good things from those players, and they were really happy with the way things ran. It ran really smoothly, and they were really confident in the fact that Evan and Kathy both were actually there, both judging the tournament, both running it, and it went really well. Otherwise, I mean, all in all, our tournament scene just looks fantastic. All of our tournaments had great numbers this weekend. The players were all excited. I didn't hear any bad things about the way things were running. Kyle was in the tournament area making sure that everything was coordinated, and it just ran so smooth. It was awesome.
And who won the Open?
As far as our Open was concerned, that was won by David Bowling,
yes, it was.
Who happens to be one of my favorite players in the Star Trek community, and I'm really, really glad for the fact that he made it again this year.
I think he's a favorite of many players in our community. Yeah. A lot of people were very happy to see him earn his return seat.
Yeah, it was really nice. Early on, and we were, of course, watching it step by step as the Open went throughout the day, trying to post information on the BBS for everyone and this and that, and we were watching David's progress through the day, and it was really I was kind of on edge throughout the tournament, and it was really great to see that David made it in there, so I was really proud of that fact.
Good. Well, I also saw David in his final game, and I think this is This means he'll have been at every World Final to date, and he was also the national winner the year before we had the Worlds.
Yes,
so.
he's another one of the old-timers who's been back from the beginning.
Well, we're very glad to welcome him back. And I know also the team tournament was very successful.
The team tournament went really well. I think the new format for both Star Trek and Star Wars brought in a lot of interest. I saw people forming teams during the convention. A lot of the teams that signed up on our website had shown up for it, and I think it piqued a lot of interest. The trophy was cool. It's awesome. I think Jonathan putting that together for us did a great job. So I think, all in all, our tournament scene this summer is going to be, I just can't say enough about how fantastic it feels and how good it's going to be to see as we go through more of the season.
Great.
So, and I think, like I said, and I just can't, another thing I can't say enough, I think Evan's a great addition to the team, and I think that he's going to influence the Star Trek community in such a way that we're just going to keep the blossom that entire game, so it's going to be great.
Cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about Blaze of Glory, because Evan's here just before our next major release of Star Trek.
Yes, just in time.
I know that one of the nights at Origins he stayed up very, very late, having seen his first set of uncut sheets, which we had with us, poring over those cards one by one.
Yes, those made us very popular at the booth that weekend. Lots of Trek players very, very excited to see what was on there.
Well, we had the 3 uncut sheets, the rare, the common, the uncommon, which were given away as a prize in the sealed deck tournament to Brian.
Brian Sykes,
who won that. He was very happy. And we also displayed those on the booth so that people were able to see, people at Origins were able to see the entire set. What they didn't see, of course, were the foils, and I'm going to start by talking about those, because I think there's rumours around in the community about which cards in the set are going to be foiled. And I think what we're prepared to do today is to announce that all of those foils come from the rare sheet in Blaze of Glory. Yeah. Can you elucidate more on that, Evan?
Well, a lot of people, there's been some concern from players who are very excited about foils, but have concerns that when they get a foil, that it will be taking the place of their rare card in that pack. And so if the foil comes from a common or an uncommon card, a lot of the players, the people who are players first and collectors, they worry that they have lost their rare card in favor of a common or an uncommon. And for Blaze of Glory, that's not going to be the case. All the cards come from rares, and they're very great, stunning images to boot. So
you know, I've not seen them yet, but everybody I know who's seen them has seen the rare sheets, the foil sheets that we've had here for proofing has been knocked out by them.
Absolutely. I
mean, I'm a young Jedi player first, and a Star Wars player second, and a Star Trek player third, but I think these foils might make a difference to me, because I've never seen such a level of excitement. So, for all you guys out there, all the foils in Blaze of Glory, the 18 foils are all from the rare sheet and will be in the rare slot of the booster. So, let's just get that clear. I also want to talk a little bit about the release of Blaze of Glory, because, of course, we still have not announced a real release date. There have been some small delays in production that have meant that we were not going to be able to get Blaze of Glory out in July. We still don't have a confirmed date, but it's looking increasingly like the 4th or the 11th of August for the street date. Now, as a marketing team, those dates fall very, very close to 2 of our major events of the summer. The 4th is the Wednesday before the Gen Con weekend, which is in Milwaukee, and the 11th is the Wednesday before the San Diego Comic Con, which is obviously in San Diego. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do with Blaze of Glory. Evan, talk about the decisions that we've made concerning Blaze of Glory.
Well, we have 2 very major tournaments at those events. We're offering an Open at Gen Con and an Invitational at San Diego. And so we had to really evaluate whether or not we were going to allow cards that had just recently been released to be played in the tournament. And we've decided that we think it would be best for everybody to go ahead and allow those cards to show up in the tournaments to see how people can use those, both in new offensive strategies and also for the defensive value of certain cards in Blaze of Glory that are going to counteract earlier strategies and rein those in a little bit, level the playing field.
I think one of the big things, though, about this is that we are going to be releasing spoiler information on Blaze of Glory rather soon. So they're going to have lots of time in order to look over these cards and really evaluate how they want to start building their decks for those 2 tournaments. So that's going to make a major impact, hopefully in those decks and in the gameplay that we see at those events. But it also gives those players plenty of time to consider those options before that event.
Exactly, and even if you've unfortunately not picked up any Blaze of Glory, you are going to know exactly what is in that set and what you're going to need to look out for. So it should be a better experience for everybody.
Well, we make these decisions on a case-by-case basis. We never have a hard and fast rule about what we will allow and not allow in our featured tournaments, and so we've taken this decision on Blaze of Glory. So that will of course be announced on all of our formats, the website, the lists. The minute we know the confirmed release date, we will be releasing that, and we will be stating the legality and which events Blaze of Glory will be allowed in. But it's our assumption at the moment that if it's released on the 4th, it will be legal in the Open that's played at the Gen Con weekend. And if it's released on the 11th, it will be legal in the Invitational that's played during the San Diego weekend. If, of course, it misses either of those 2 weeks and releases the 18th, it's a moot point. So then we only have to think about the regionals and which ones of those it's going to be released in. And do we have a full regional schedule out yet?
We do have a regional set up right now. We do have some weekend dates set. Kyle and I, this weekend, actually on Sunday, have planned to be in the office, which will be fun and exciting for us. But we will be in this weekend to start verifying the confirmed dates that we have so far, as well as to work with our volunteers who are assisting us on those other events to try to get those finalized and finished within the next couple of weeks. So I hope that we'll have at least a partial list of set dates sometime by mid-next week. But Kyle and I, like I said, are planning on being in here this weekend to work on that. So for all of you guys who have the day off on Sunday, enjoy it, because Kyle and I do not.
Well, that's great, and I'm glad to hear that the guys are going to be in the office working. And
oh yeah, we're excited too.
I think I'll close the Star Trek part of this broadcast now, just to remind everybody that although we've not announced our full plans for the rest of the year, our next major expansion after Blaze of Glory will be Rules of Acquisition. We've been saying that for a while. Further details on that, but you can expect it during 1999. And no dates as yet, but just to remind you that Blaze of Glory is just around the corner, and the excitement for that set is incredibly high.
Yeah, putting those uncut sheets out has just put out so much excitement and discussion about the cards, and it's just been wonderful to see that there are still players out there who are still very devoted to the game.
Yeah. Oh, lots and lots.
And,
lots and lots.
Yeah, wait till they see the foils. I can't even imagine, what the type of excitement's going to come over those foils. And if I was Brian Sykes, I'd be pulling out that rare sheet right now going, which one is it going to be?
That's a good, that would be good. Okay, guys, well, thanks for talking to me. Welcome, Evan. And thanks for chatting with us, Marcus. And look forward to talking to you guys again. Well, I've grabbed Kendrick and Kyle now and brought them to the microphones because we've talked a lot about Trek today, but Origins is only just behind us, and it was a very full weekend for all three of our games, Classic Star Wars and Young Jedi. I'm going to start by talking a little bit about Young Jedi at Origins because I actually played, I think, in 4 tournaments, which was pretty amazing for me. So I did quite well. I was 6th in the Constructed out of 65, and second in one of the sealed decks, so I'm feeling like quite a gamer today. Kyle, of course, was the tournament director of most of those tournaments. So was I a well-behaved tournament player, Kyle?
Yeah, you were, absolutely. Did very good. Everybody was like, Carol won again, wow, Everybody was keeping track of where you were throughout the tournament. It was pretty cool.
It was fun. I had one of the guys here had helped me build the constructed decks, and they were great decks. I had a Captain Tarples deck for my light deck, 10 Captain Tarples, I think, and my dark deck was mostly battle droids and stuff like that. And both those decks did really well. Mm-hmm. In the sealed deck, I was lucky enough on the last one to pull that tank thing and those tank cannon thingies. And although people, recommended me not to put just one combination like that in a deck because the chances of it coming up are pretty rare, it actually came up in the first hand. So I was Carl's laughing because I don't know the real name of the card.
I was playing a tank thing and tank thingy deck, and it did really well.
Those thingies are broken, by the way. I think we just need to get that out of the
It was great. My opponent was very unlucky. He got his Jedi lightsaber out on turn 1, and Obi was the last card in his deck, so his gamble did not play off. So that's the nice thing about Young Jedi. Everybody has a lot of fun with it, and it's very quick. And they were complete beginners in the tournament who'd never done anything but take a 10-minute demo, and it was fun to play alongside them. So had a lot of fun with that. But whilst all the Young Jedi stuff was going on, we also had a lot of stuff for Classics. So tell us all about what happened. Start off, Kendrick, with how Origins was for you.
Well, I'll tell you, not being as closely married to the tournament area as I have been in the past years, I was a little lonely from the action. But I have to say that with the number of people playing in those tournaments, the organization and the way those tournaments went off and the presence that we had in the tournament area just rocked. Thanks to Kyle and everybody that helped in organizing those events is really due, and I think it says a lot of good things for the rest of the con season. We're ready for the big events, for the big Young Jedi events, for the big qualification events, and for everything else that we do. So if you're going to those shows, then look out, because we're going to be a big presence there. But the attendance at the Young Jedi tournaments really kind of surprised me, especially on Thursday. I was really impressed with the 70-player tournament. It was just great to see that, and everybody had fun in those tournaments. And I was really kind of glad to see you out there playing in those events, because I think it added a little bit of celebrity into there, and and especially coming out in the finishes that you did, there were reports coming back to the booth, about, like Kyle said, how Carol was doing. So that was a lot of fun. The open qualifier for me was a great experience, even though I wasn't there. Hearing that it had broken the record for any of our sanctioned events was just real special for me. I think we downplayed it a little bit just because there was a lot to do, and we were real interested in having the tournament go off well. But that was a real big achievement. So it's impressive that you guys pulled that off as well as you did. Nice job. And
Thank you.
The Endor booster draft, well, I guess that's or drafts, I should say, through the course of the weekend. I guess that's our second topic, but I'll tell you, I had a blast playing in all the ones I played in, and I think Endor booster draft format is a great one.
I actually played in one of those as well at 3 a.m. and played light side and won one of my games, lost one by 2 and lost the other by like 23, I think. I was really badly hit in one of the games, but I was really pleased. I had some great fun with Ewoks, winning the third of the 3 games. I got them all out at one of the locations, and they just sort of
kicked butt.
Okay, so Kyle, tell me about the Open and the kind of decks that you saw.
Well, it was sort of a real blur for me. There was a lot going on, and at the time of the Star Wars Open, we also had 2 other large tournaments running concurrently. It was the Blaze of Glory Uncut Sheet Star Trek tournament, and there was also a big Young Jedi sealed deck tournament. So I wasn't able to watch the games as closely as I played. I know that, and congratulations to Clint Hayes who won the event. I know that there were a few operatives decks in there, which Clint Hayes was playing in conjunction with some speeders, snow speeders and land desert speeders, and there were some ISB decks, and there were a lot of really for the tournament. I was talking with Juz, who, by the way, did an excellent job running the Open, but from what I understand, this was the most varied tournament most people had ever seen, the most different and unique type of decks that were ever seen, including the Philadelphia guys brought a brand new deck to that tournament that actually did very, very well. So even up until right before Endor, even after Endor was released, people were still discovering new strategies out of special editions. So that was really nice to see.
So-called Maelstrom deck?
No, it was not. It had to deal with Boston Spies and Undercover. I actually didn't get to see the deck, but I know it was all abuzz that weekend. So, right up until the last minute, people were still discovering new strategies out of special editions. So
cool.
That's a testament to that set.
Well, that was great, and Endor was released. It was not included in the Open, but it was included in a lot of play that weekend, including the team tournament.
Absolutely, yeah. And people were having such a great time with Endor at the team tournament, which, by the way, has got to be the funnest tournament I have ever run. People were having such a great time at that, and we were giving them updates between every round on, this team looks like they're ahead, and so they were like hooping and hollering and egging on the other teams. And man, there were two team guild. One was SD and one was CD, and those guys were just out of control, and it was so fun to watch them hooping and hollering and clapping for their friends and the other guys in their team, and they really put on a good show. So
well, we love that format, and we're going to be doing much more and bringing it into the Young Jedi play arena as well, because with the speed of the play of Young Jedi, I think we can get some awesome team events and even some team tag events going for Young Jedi. I think that's going to be really fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, and one of the other interesting notes, it looked like Team Quebec had it wrapped up there, and one loss from one of their higher-up players in the very last game against T.J. Holman pushed Team Eastside Beatdown Crew up over the other two teams that tied for second, only 1 point behind the winning team. It was really incredible to watch that. So
that's great. Well, I'm glad that Endor did cause such a stir this weekend. We're of course watching how it develops in the playing community, and we're looking forward to our next event, which is the Chicago Comic-Con. So anybody in the Chicago area, we will be there as of next Friday. I think it opens. That's a week today. What kind of schedule of events do we have there, Kendrick?
Well, the two big spotlight events, of course, are going to be the Invitational Tournaments, and we've started hearing some pretty good buzz in at least the real core community, the guys that are watching their ratings all the time and playing in the big events, because they all want to go up there and win the Invitational. That seems to hold a little more prestige than another tournament like an Open qualifier. You win the same exact prize, but maybe there's a little bit more mystique married to that. So that's great for those guys. We want to run a quality event just like we ran at Origins, and may the best man win on those. We've got a schedule of Young Jedi tournaments that we're going to even stuff with a couple of more, so that people are going to be able to play virtually the entire time that they're there. We want to make sure that people have a lot of opportunities for all the tournaments, the classic tournaments, and Star Trek tournaments, as well as the Young Jedi. So I think we've got a pretty good schedule there as well. We plan on being really busy, and we hope that you all are going to come up and plan on being busy with us. So
that's at the Heuer Convention Center?
That's right. It's I believe it's the Rosemont Convention Center.
The Rosemont Convention Center, just outside Chicago, near the airport, very near the airport, the O'Hare Airport, and we'll be there from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not this weekend, next weekend. So anybody in the Chicagoland area, come and see us, and those from further afield, and we'll be there with a booth and a big tournament schedule. So thanks, guys.
Thank you, Carol.